I got you.
All right, creatures of the night and the Pod Street crew out there, welcome to another edition of Digging Up the Dead Man here on the Talking Taker YouTube channel, where I'm going to unbox a couple of new additions to the Talking Taker figure collection. Of course, Undertaker figures and Undertaker opponents. That's what I'm adding here. Got a couple of really fun retro figures to add to the collection. Papa Shango from the new WWE Superstars line, which I did pick up in the stores here in South Carolina, and a recent eBay purchase. It is another new figure though, but it is one that's not available in stores. I've got the Jim the Anvil Neidhart WWE retro figure. So I'm going to talk about these two figures, pop them open, explain why they need to be in the Talking Taker figure collection. So now, before I do get to those two figures, the new unboxings here, I do want to give a shout out to a friend of the show, a fellow Undertaker figure collector and fan, Steven Zeman of the Collecting Dead Man podcast. I'm not going to unbox these here on the show, but he did send me a couple of gifts here recently in the mail, a couple of surprises. He sent me the Undertaker, I think it's called WWE Stack Down. I think that's what this is. It's an Undertaker Lego figure, which is pretty dang cool. I don't know if you can see it there. It's got the eyes rolled back in its head. Came with an alternate head as well, but I love any sort of miniature Undertaker figure, so I'm excited to add that to the collection. And then sent me this brand new 2022 Undertaker Hallmark ornament. So I already have a couple of Undertaker ornaments that are on the Christmas tree, and I know my wife will be so excited to add a third one to the tree. She can't stand having tacky ornaments on the tree, but all three of these are going to go on there, and this one's going to get a prominent spot because it's brand new. So thank you for that, Steven. But let's get to what we're really here for, unboxing a couple of figures to add to the collection. Let me start with this one. Let's start with the Jim the Anvil Neidhart WWE Retro Collection figure that just recently released. It was in a 4-pack on the Mattel Creations website. That was the only way you could get it, but I did get one split up on eBay because obviously, you probably know, Undertaker and Jim Neidhart never had a singles match on pay-per-view, but Jim the Anvil Neidhart is an essential part of The Undertaker's pay-per-view legacy because he faced him in his very first pay-per-view match, his debut at Survivor Series 1990. So you have to have a Jim the Anvil Neidhart in your Undertaker opponent collection to represent his debut match. Been on the lookout for an Anvil for a while. Some of his figures are kind of pricey, and there's a lot of Anvil figures that don't really match his look in that Survivor Series 1990 match. Obviously, his figure that was out around that time is the Hasbro figure, which is the only figure representation of Anvil in his new Foundation gear with the hammer pants and the checkered jacket and you know, that really, really 90s gear, which he only wore for a few months, but it did get that Hasbro representation, which is honestly a friggin' shame because that's one of the missed opportunities of the Hasbro days, was having a legit Hart Foundation, whether it was a 2-pack or just a singles Anvil release. Man, you needed that, and they were right there in the Hasbro era. It's kind of crazy that we never got one of those. He's got Mattels, he's got Jacks, but a lot of those are like Hart Foundation 97 look, which is a different look than this gear, which is the 80s and 90s, early 90s Hart Foundation, or like early Hart Foundation in the blue pants, which is that you can find those pretty easily. But some of his figures are kind of pricey, so I was excited to find a decent price here on this retro figure. I love the retro line anyway, so I thought I'd get this one. Check out the packaging here on the back. It does, you know, they do a decent job replicating the old Hasbro packaging and look. There's nothing quite like that these days, but they do an okay job. You know, you got the card here that you used to be able to cut out with the Hasbros, the bio card. Shows you some of the other guys in the collection, how you could do the move. This wave had, of course, a Bret Hart to match the Jim the Anvil Neidhart, so a tag team Bret Hart. Jimmy the Mouth of the South Hart, who was the Hart Foundation manager, who, I mean, definitely deserved a Hasbro. They didn't do managers or commentators during that time, but definitely they should have done. Jimmy Hart. I mean, he was an essential part of WWF back then during the Hasbro era. And then the oddball in the collection in this wave was the Nikolai Volkov. I don't know that anyone was particularly clamoring for a Nikolai Volkov retro style figure, but they have the rights to him. There he is. He kind of fits. You know, they've made Iron Sheik and some of those earlier mid 80s guys. You know, he definitely could have fit in there for sure. But he never faced the Undertaker, not that I know of. So don't have to get him, but I do got to get the Anvil. So let's add Jim the Anvil Neidhart to the Talking Taker collection. This is actually going to complete my collection for that Survivor Series 1990 match. You know, I say that, but it's not truly complete because I don't have Brother Love's Jack's Classic Superstars figure yet. And you need that. You got to have Brother Love. He was Undertaker's first manager. You got to add him in there. So there he is, the Anvil retro style figure, and this is pretty sweet. So he's doing I know Kurt Angle has this move. I think actually Iron Sheik has this move of the new style retro, sort of a power slam, body slam type deal. A move style that wasn't represented in the original Hasbros. So a new thing that they added with the retros, but it totally fits right in there. Man, I think this is a really, really well done Anvil figure. Look at his likeness there. He's got that just screaming, yeah, baby, Anvil laugh with the shades, which I think totally works for Anvil. When you think of Anvil doing those promos backstage, he's got these shades on, so it absolutely works for that. Pretty nice attention to detail there on the tights. Got the Anvil on the boots, which you have to have for an Anvil figure. Anvil and the little logo there on the butt, which you got to have for him. Again, that open mouth, the beard, the body type, pretty dang good. Totally works like him. He's got more abs than I remember Anvil having. Could have had him with a little bit more of a gut, but we'll let that go. And here's my original Bret Hart Hasbro. I've talked about my love-hate relationship with the Hasbros as a kid, but one of them that I really liked and that I did play the heck out of was my Bret Hart. I loved Bret Hart as a wrestler, and his Hasbro was, I think, one of the best ones. I played with it so much. His heart is coming off there. His gear is coming off. This is my childhood one. His hair is thinning a little bit. But I love having it in my collection. And height-wise, you know, it matches right up there with Bret's Hasbro. It totally works, man. Bret was, of course, in that Undertaker debut match, Survivor Series 1990. One of his opponents, along with Dusty Rhodes and Coco Beware. Taker was teamed up with the $1 Million Man and Honky Tonk Man and Greg Valentine there at Survivor Series 1990. So you got to have a Jim the Anvil Neidhart there in your Undertaker opponent collection, and what better one than a retro one to represent sort of that 1990 era Hart Foundation. I think this was perfect. I think this was great. Very well done by Mattel. The retros are still very fun. I love that they're keeping that line alive. So the other figure I picked up here was friend of the show, Charles Wright, a.k.a. The Godfather, a.k.a. Papa Shango, here in the WWE Superstars line. There is me and Travis, my Talking Taker co-host, at the big event autograph signing in New York with The Godfather. He's done a couple of cameos for us and revealed some Undertaker secrets on some past episodes. So I encourage you to go back and check those out, find those in our archives as we talk about him. Of course, Papa Shango never faced The Undertaker on pay-per-view. He doesn't fit in that collection, but since I am such a big fan of the man behind Papa Shango, I definitely wanted to get this figure. And also, it just looks amazing. Papa Shango was one of my favorite characters as a kid watching TV because he just jumped off the screen. I did never understand why his run wasn't longer, why he didn't get a pay-per-view match with The Undertaker. That seemed like such a layup. It would have been such an awesome visual and storytelling type of match. He does face him on some house shows, and there is a recording of one of their matches on a Coliseum home video, which we have not covered on Talking Taker, but I bet that we will, because I think we're going to do another Coliseum Home Video Classics episode here in the next few months, and I bet we will get to that one because it is on Peacock. But I had the Papa Shango Hasbro as a kid, another one of my favorites. Well, I didn't like all the Hasbros, but I liked this one because he was so unique and really well done. Hasbro, the paint on the gear, the detail, his tattoos, his face paint, the top hat, the Voodoo Master. He has his little skeleton bone necklace here, which I always had on him as a necklace. But I think I learned it from the Major Wrestling Figure podcast. I didn't ever realize this. You could actually put it in his hand right here, and he could be like doing a spell on somebody, which is what he did. You know, he would hold this out, or he'd hold his it was his necklace with the smoking skull on it, and he would do the spells to people. So a really, really cool figure. I love this one, but I think this new Superstars figure might put it to shame. I unboxed the Undertaker Superstars figure here a little while back, and I freaking loved it. I love this line. So I'm excited to add this one. Let's check out the back here. It is in the same series as the Undertaker. You can see that here. Just a great detail on the packaging here. You know, you compare it to the retros. The retros are fine, and you know, they're going for sort of that retro Hasbro look. But I just think the Superstars line blows the retros out of the water. I think they have far surpassed them already. Papa Shango, the spell has been put on you. Actually found this one in Walmart a couple weeks ago here in Greenville, South Carolina. They had a couple of Papa Shangos, a couple of the Ted DiBiase's, and a couple of the Mankinds on the shelf. Didn't have the Undertaker on the shelf. Have not seen that one in the stores yet. Thankfully, buddy Randy Turco did pick one of those up for me. But, there we go. Let's open this bad boy up. Let's check this out. The Voodoo Curse. Papa Shango. Oh, yeah. Now, I don't think they've ever done a Papa Shango with this much attention to detail. Let's see. Don't want to mess anything up. He is tied in there. Those plastic ties. Let's get him out. Yeah, I don't know that they've ever done a Papa Shango with the cape. And I think I ragged on the Undertaker Superstars a little bit. Felt like his jacket was a little cheap, a little bit shoddy. I cannot say that about Papa Shango's cape. Look at all the design on there. Two different styles of fabric on there. This is awesome. He's got removable top hat, unlike the Hasbro, which is stuck on there. There it is, removable top hat. So you can have the full Papa Shango experience. Let me take, his jacket, or his cape has little straps here on there. So it's not just around his neck, straps around his arms. That's nice. All right. So you're not going to lose that as I drop it on the floor. It's got the necklace here. Let's take a look at that. Ooh, it's kind of tight there around the neck, but we'll get it off. And so there's the Hasbro necklace as compared to the Superstars necklace there. Actually kind of like the Hasbro necklace a little bit more, but still pretty nice detail there on the Superstars necklace. And there he is. Again, these are such cool, unique figures, sort of Masters of the Universe / AWA Remco style figures. Man, such attention to detail. Look at all those tattoos on there. Look at his face paint. That voodoo style face paint on there. I'm just kind of in awe of this figure. I think this is probably the best representation ever of Papa Shango. And I just think these Superstars figures are so unique, so cool. I love all the accessories. I mean, we get the hat, we get the necklace. Let me put the necklace back on here. And the cape on there. You know, they are $20. They're the same price as an Elite, but I just feel like the attention to detail on there, the design on there, the playability of it, the accessories, and they all the Superstars figures have accessories, have soft goods on there. I think the value for them is spot on for that $20 price tag. I don't have a problem paying for that for this. They look great on display. They are perfect for adult collectors like us, but I think even as a kid, you could get a lot of playability and enjoy playing with this whole line, even though it is all retro, guys. So huge thumbs up for me with this retro style Papa Shango figure, and then the retro Jim Neidhart as well. Very excited to add these two fellas to the Talking Taker collection. They'll be on the early days, the 90s shelf there, right above me, coming soon to that shelf. And coming soon to the Talking Taker channel. Want to encourage all you guys to listen, to subscribe to us on YouTube or on your preferred podcasting app. We got a great episode coming up for the month of October. Travis and I are going to look back at the 20th anniversary of one of the Undertaker's all-time top 10 greatest matches, No Mercy 2002 versus Brock Lesnar inside Hell in a Cell. We're going to look back at it for his 20-year anniversary. So be on the lookout for that October 1st. And be sure to subscribe, listen, watch, check out some other unboxings, recommend us to your friends. And as always, take her easy.